Hi folks, good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending on where you are. I'm Blackbright, and yes, I'm not my cheery self today because I know I don't live in America, and I've often been told to keep my nose out of America's business. But what happens in America eventually affects us in the UK. And this shutdown is not good. In fact, it's pretty scary. There's a lot of conspiracy theories going around that it's intentional, that it has nothing to do with the war, that it's a way of getting excess people who they're paying who are not essential. I think it's sad that the essential people are being forced to work without pay. And I'm just like, I'm sure the majority of those federal workers are naturalized citizens, as I've said in a previous video. But I'm also pretty convinced that a lot of them are churchgoers. And if they're churchgoers, are they the type of churchgoers that go sit down, listen to some music, pay their tithes to the pastor, and then they go home? Or are they wise people who actually investigate the word, who know prophecy, who understand what's going on in the world? A lot of so-called Christians walk around blind. They believe that God is going to come down and protect them all and save them. So when they get in dire straits, oh God, help me. But if you've not been paying attention to his word and you haven't been paying attention to his prophecies, he doesn't suffer fools gladly. We've been warned about this for years. I didn't know how it was going to come. And the way it happens is so subtle and yet so sudden, and it has such an impact. It's almost like, I don't believe it. I can't believe it. And when you think about history, that's how it happened. Sudden. One minute everybody's happy-go-lucky, the next minute, boof. Your dreams are shattered. And if you don't have a contingency plan, you're screwed. A lot of these people, they were eating, I think it's the phrase is food to mouth, so they literally were living week to week, had enough money to pay their bills, reliant on the state. And once you're reliant on anything or anyone, you're vulnerable. Many of them don't have contingency plans. So what are they going to do? Now, majority of them, if they're not back at work by the end of February, they're going to be evicted from their homes. And of course, I listened to somebody else talking about how this is going to cause riots, how, the military and whoever are on standby for the riots, so they're expecting it. But who really cares? Who cares? The Democrats and the Republicans are on some kind of egomaniacal trance. You give me 5 billion and I build the world. No, I'm not going to give you 5 billion because the wall doesn't need to be built. Meanwhile, people's lives are being affected. But they have to be affected because it is prophesied. It's all a part of the larger plan, a part of the scheme, and there is nothing whatsoever you can do about it. The country's in a mess, and anytime the country's in a mess, historically, it's caused civil wars, and they've had to wipe out people. They've had to wipe out people because they can't afford it. They've made mistakes. They've made too many mistakes. It's too expensive to employ people. It's too expensive to give out benefits to people you don't even like, to people who you consider shouldn't even be in the country in the first place. And you're paying them benefits? How dare you? So that's where we are, people. We're in a place where a lot of us, if you haven't got God on your side, you're going to be weak, you're going to lose faith, like the guy in 2016, many are going to commit suicide. Many people are just going to either go crazy. Many people are going to put themselves in desperate situations and probably end up dead anyway. It's not good. It's not good at all. And I don't have an answer. All I know is that it's paralleling with the instability that the UK is facing. And we won't know that until the end of March as well. Now, if you're thinking, if you're kind of putting the two together, I think federal government have got up until February. Once February is over, if they're not back at work, that's it. All those people are going to lose their homes, people are going to lose their jobs, whatever. It's going to be too expensive to pay them all, so they're not going to want to pay them. And when does Brexit, when, you know, the agreement, no deal or whatever happens with Brexit, it happens in March. So it's all going to come together, UK and USA. It's all going to happen at the same time. And, you know, none of us are prepared for it, because I think a lot of us are still in shock. I think a lot of us are just thinking, it can't happen. You know, they're not going to allow this to happen. I think that's what people are thinking. I think people are thinking, oh yeah, they're not going to let people go without jobs. They're not going to close the federal government indefinitely. They're not going to shut it down indefinitely. They can't. But they can. Trump is not an ordinary person. Trump goes against the grain. If you've noticed from the time he's come in, he hasn't done anything that he hasn't said he's going to do. He is angry because they're not allowing him to buy his wall. But like I said, it probably doesn't have much to do with the wall. It's got to do with getting rid of people. And they need to get rid of people quick, fast and efficiently. And who knows how they're going to do that. It's a scary time. I was hoping that all this would happen after I'm dead and gone, but it looks very much like it's imminent. It's imminent. And, you know, I don't know, there's no suggestion unless... What do you do? If you've got people in different parts of the world, but I mean, eventually they're going to be affected. You can go to different parts of the world, I guess. But everybody's going to be running scared. And I don't think there is going to be a place to hide. According to, if you do read the Bible, they say people are going to run to the hills, and the hills are going to run away. Run to the trees are going to run away. So I think that's all got to do with earthquakes and, you know, nuclear bombs. And I mean, when we look at all these, when we look at the Bible, we kind of look at it literally and think, oh, that doesn't make any sense. But if you think about earthquakes, and if you think about other kind of natural disasters, if you think about nuclear warfare, it makes sense. All of these things that are prophesied make sense. Now, I don't know my Bible off by heart. I just read bits of it. I do believe in God, you know, and I have given myself to him, you know, thank God, 2 years before this. But, you know, we all fall short. So it's no point sitting there thinking, oh, yeah, I'm one of the good guys. I'm going to be protected. Or, you know, you're going to start worshipping God now or tomorrow and asking for forgiveness. Because, you know, it's not going to work like that. Everyone's going to be all chucked into the same pot. And the good are going to go down with the bad. And because there are no good, really. Yeah, it's kind of scary. I don't like the feeling. I don't like it. But, you know, it's happening. It's happening, and we're seeing it happen before our eyes. I don't know why, but I somehow see the Grenfell Tower with all those people screaming and all those people burning, and, you know, the tower falling, and everybody was so helpless. That's how I see what's happening now. People screaming and crying, and they're helpless. There's no one to help them, and there isn't, because everybody's in the same boat. We're not in a position like Trump and all the people in the federal government, well, the people in the White House who are paid for a lifetime, who earn stacks and stacks of money, who've got so much wealth, they can go years without worrying about food and money. Majority of us, even though we've been warned time and time again, make sure you have 6 months worth of savings. We don't have it. We have been foolhardy with our money, and especially just after Christmas, majority of us are broke. But anyway, that's all I've got to say. I'm just really ranting. I don't know if it's making any sense. I don't know if it's going anywhere. I don't know if I've given you any advice. I don't know what I'm doing. I just felt as though I had to talk to you peoples, because I do feel for you. I feel for those in America who are federal workers, who are waiting for their paychecks, who are not going to get their paychecks, who are going to feel desperate when they've lost their homes and everything they've lived for, and who have taken their income for granted, because that's what we've done. I know the other day I blew all my money, bought a car because I thought, you know, with all this new emissions law, where you know, that I'm not going to be able to get to London. The way the things are going, I won't even need a bloody car to London, so I should have kept my money, but I didn't. So we all do silly things. We all act on impulse. We all do things with our money that maybe on reflection we should have been much wiser. But we can't turn back the clock. That's it. Wherever we are now, that's what we're stuck with. So if you've been wise, good for you. But when they shut down the banks, when they shut down everything, that money in the bank isn't going to do you any good anyway, because when you try to get it, you're not going to be able to get it out. So, you know, is it really worth holding on to your money? What value will it have when times are hard? It'd be valuable in the short term, but in the long term, you know, you won't be able to go anywhere with it, because people will be robbing you left, right and centre. If you go to buy something with it, they'll know you've got money, and that'll be it. So what do? You won't be able to do online shopping with it. You won't be able to order online. Anyway, I've gone on long enough. Just be wary about what's happening. Just be wary, and don't disbelieve what's happening. Don't believe it cannot happen, because it is happening, and it's happening now right before your eyes. I wish you peace, I wish you safety, and, you know, that's all I can say. Bye.